crazy crab in the house, and it seems that Terminator Dark Fate is not faring well at the box office. We are hearing that it's bombing in the US, bombing overseas. It is not performing well. Why? Is this a get woke go broke situation, or are people just sick of Terminator? Or if they're not sick of Terminator, they're sick of seeing movies they like that are supposed to be new trilogies, and then they just get thrown away and we never see a sequel to them. How many dang times does this have to happen? Terminator 3, no sequel. The Nick Stahl deal, gone. Okay. Terminator Salvation, okay, where's the sequel? We got Christian Bale, no sequel. Okay. Terminator Genesis, gonna be a new trilogy. Where's the sequel? No sequel. What's going on? Now we have Dark Fate, and it's bombing. Everybody wants a sequel that loved it, but we're probably not going to get one. I mean, I don't know that. That's speculation. It's very early, but based on the early numbers, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie follows the same Dark Fate. So what is going on with the franchise? Why is it not doing well? Let's talk about it. We got a lot to talk about. I'm going to try to do it quickly. First of all, is this a go woke, go broke type thing? Now, the decisions made early were not helpful. Tim Miller deciding to say she's going to scare the F out of misogynist trolls. I mean, that was not a smart thing to say. Not because you're going to offend real misogynists, because real misogynists never liked Terminator in the first place. Real misogynists who think that women are useless aren't going to see this movie. Why are we talking about them? All it does is make it seem like this is going to be some super woke movie, and people who are tired of that in Hollywood are not going to go see it. So you just lost a lot of ticket sales. Nice move there. And also the first poster that came out, like, I'm sorry, if I saw this and I had a say, I'd have said, guys, maybe we need to, incorporate Arnold in here. It's not that it's 3 women and people are all sexist like they want to claim, but in this current climate, what's going on right now in Hollywood and the way things are going, we don't want to turn people off. Okay, let's make a poster that's going to make people want to see the movie, that's going to get people excited for the movie, and let's get some good positive buzz going for this movie. Not negative buzz where people are like, go woke, look at this woke poster, and then they get on YouTube and spread it all around, and then people are like, I'm not going to see this garbage. Why would we want to do that? It's not the problem with that we cast these people and we want to put them in the poster somehow, but look at this. Let's just make smart decisions, okay? So those decisions weren't helpful. They lost a lot of ticket sales. But having said that, the Terminator franchise is not like it was after T2. That was 1991, almost 30 years ago. That was a long time ago. Since then, well, first of all, a lot of those old fans who loved that movie have grown out of it and grown and moved on to other things, okay? They're not as big of fans as they once were. Not to mention that you've released 3 other movies since then and they've all failed. People are getting tired of it. And the people that liked those movies were extremely disappointed that they never become the trilogies that we were promised. And that includes myself. I wanted that trilogy even after Salvation. Even though I didn't like Salvation, I thought to myself, man, it was a cool looking movie. Christian Bale's going to catch his stride as John Connor. We're going to see John Connor send back Kyle Reese. This is going to be sick. I can't wait for the next one, even though I didn't like this one. Never happened. Terminator Genesis was going to be a trilogy, and I was on board for that. We're going to find out why they sent Arnold back. Why did they send the T-800 back to her childhood, and how? How did all that go down? So many unanswered questions after watching that movie. And if you watch Genesis now, you're going to leave with like, well, there's plot holes all over. Well, they were probably, not all of them, but some of them were going to get explained throughout the trilogy that never happened. And now, yet again, they put another Terminator movie that is not related to any of the other Terminator movies. People aren't going to really go see it. Knowing all that, should we still make a Terminator movie? You can still make one because it still has the Terminator name. And if it's good, it will get word of mouth and it will do well and it will make money. But to make a profit, you gotta talk about budget. And at heart, Terminator is a movie about people. The original Terminator was a love story. Yes, you're going to have some special effects. Terminator is one of the pioneer movies of the great special effects that we saw throughout the night. I mean, that 1991 movie has better special effects than we see today. And that's because they used both practical effects and CGI, and it was just amazing. Now it's just an overuse and saturation of CGI. And that's expensive. And they decided that for this movie, they were going to have a budget of $200 million. Now that is an insane budget, because when you talk about the marketing as well, you may spend up to 400 million on that movie, which means you're going to want to make well over 500 million to be happy about, how your movie performed. Now, Terminator Dark Fate, after everything Terminator's been through, it's going to be really tough to make that kind of money. So what I'm saying is they should have cut that budget down, way down, and calm down on some of the crazy special. Did you see Dark Fate? You got freaking Jeeps and Humvees flying out of airplanes, falling into the ocean. You got just CGI. It's a CGI fest, and it is you can tell that they went huge with this movie, and they really didn't have to. They really didn't have to. You could have made a solid Terminator movie, and I don't want to throw out an exact number, but you could have cut that in half, and it could have been a $100 million budget or even an $80 million budget. And I believe if you focused on people and character building, and you didn't worry about wokeness and making the girl power and all that, and I said that this movie was not too crazy in your face woke, and I stand by it. But overall, I can't argue with you if you say this is a woke movie, just based on the casting and based on the John Connor situation and based on the fact that you got a girl, basically a little 5'1" girl, taking out a Terminator with her bare hands practically. That was pretty outrageous. Not to mention all the other little seeds that are planted throughout the movie that people have mentioned to me in my comment section, and I'm not going to deny those things. There is so much in this movie that you can look at and say, hey, that's woke, that's woke, that's woke. It may not be totally in your face Batwoman style, but it's there, and I can't deny that. It didn't always take away from my enjoyment of the movie, because I try not to think about it, but I'm not going to deny that it's there. And that didn't help either. It really didn't. Word of mouth is important. If they would have put out an amazing Terminator movie and thought about people and thought about characters and avoided any wokeness, that would have helped. It would have really helped. They would have made a lot more money because there would have been word of mouth. Now, we haven't gotten into the second and third and fourth weeks, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to have a bad drop. It's not going to do well, especially because of the decision, and we got to talk about, to kill off John Connor. So they sat there and said, let's kill off John Connor. And apparently this happened about a year after the events of Terminator 2. I was wrong in my original review. I thought it was a few weeks because of his appearance. He looked the exact same. Kids actually grow pretty quick. Like, if this was supposed to be a couple years after the end of T2, he should have looked a little older. He didn't. So that's my bad, but that's also the movie's bad in not trying to make a John Connor look like a couple years older. Find a picture of Eddie Furlong when he was 16, and that would have been awesome, but no. So that was really weird. But anyway, you decide to kill off John Connor right away, and you got to know that that's going to piss off half the fan base. There are people who defend it, and there are people who have some interesting reasons why they defend it. But at the end of the day, was it a smart decision for the franchise? For a franchise that's struggling, and you're trying to make a new trilogy, and you want to make a lot of money, and you had a gigantic budget? Was that a smart decision? Hell no. That was a horrible decision. Maybe John Connor needed to go. Maybe it was time to move on from John Connor. I'm going to make a video about that. Maybe it is time to move on from John Connor. You couldn't find a better way. You couldn't find a better way than that? I could open up my Microsoft Word program right now and write you a little outline that would have been a better idea for this movie. Wouldn't have pissed off a whole bunch of fans. And hey, if done right, if with a good producer, good director, good screenwriter, maybe you could actually make people excited, and through word of mouth make a little money. And if you don't need to spend 200 million, you have a budget of about $80 million, maybe 100 million. You still got to have great special effects and all that, but you don't have to go nuts with it. This ain't Transformers, man. This is Terminator. But it hasn't really been Terminator for a long, long time. I said I liked the movie, and it was good, and it was enjoyable. It was a really fun ride in the theater. Once I got over the opening scene, once I got into it, there is a lot of stupidness. There's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of what? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. That's sure convenient. That doesn't make sense. There's a lot of that in it. So don't get me wrong. Compared to the original Terminators, it's basically trash. But compared to the movies we see nowadays, hey, it was a fun time. It was a fun time, and it was a decent movie. I haven't given it a grade yet. I don't know where I'm going to rank it yet. But at the end of the day, this movie is bombing because the filmmakers did not understand the current situation with Terminator, because they didn't really study the lore enough and because they decided they needed a $200 million budget. You make a movie with an $80 million budget, you're gonna make money on a Terminator movie. You want to spend $200 million and then another $200 million on marketing, $400 million, you're in $400 million deep, you're probably not gonna make a damn dime. I could have told you all that, and I'm a dumbass on the internet in a freaking trailer. Crazy crab here. I don't know what these people in Hollywood, I don't know what's wrong with them. I wish I could explain it. Gonna have more talk about this movie soon. I'm gonna do a big spoiler. I'm gonna talk more about the John Connor deal. I'm still thinking about it. I'm still going back to see it. I got so, my mind is just all over the place about this movie. If you want to talk about it, if you're interested, drop a comment below. I'm going to try to get back. We've been getting a lot of comments on these videos, so I really appreciate that. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I'm going to try to get to all these comments and reply to as many of them as I can. Been getting a little behind on that. So y'all have a fantastic day. Crazy Crab out.